talked about something, oh, it's over. He's disqualified, it's over. But that's the argument I'm making. Is yeah, even if a little bit slips into the glass, you know, because herpes simplex 2 happen to be on my lip, and it shouldn't be. There's no reason why it should be. So, and it gets, so it's okay. I'm going to infect a beautiful woman that's going to be Miss California or something, or it's Miss Nevada or Miss Hawaii. Yeah, I'm making the argument to infect your daughters with my disease because I'm the victim of this, of what you folks did to me by you know, encouraging psychiatry that slowed me down to where I went to a prostitute, and I shouldn't have had to do that. I would have ended up knowing I deserved it, not having a penis the size of a pencil eraser. I didn't take this medication during puberty, breaking into women above my level like I wanted. So that said, since I'm going to, you know, infest your daughters with horrible outbreaks every couple of months, and then it gets better, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Since that we're going to do it that way, well, I mean, you know, we got to make a little bit of a deal with society, but that's the problem when your parents, your mother, your father says, we're going to make a little bit of a deal with society, and you know what? Yeah, he's trying to get with people that are above his level, and so that isn't right. Well, you know, they deserve to be euthanized for it, and so do all of you. I have the world held hostage, and God too. But, okay, take that off the table for a second. I was thinking about something because I'm about to catch the Amtrak Pacific Surfliner here from Oceanside Transit Center into, what is it, Santa Fe Depot downtown, and we had a very good productive day, and I'm going to actually make a video when I'm on the train because what else is there to do? There's a lot to do, but there's a little bit of time because it takes about an hour. It's a little faster on the Surfliner, I think, but it'll be nice. Then you can plug in your laptop, guaranteed. You know, a little more comfortable on coach in the Surfliner. Basically saying, here's what I tell my personal assistant if I had my personal assistant with me, or a slave or a servant, you know, if I had that person, he or she, with me, and I could just turn to the person and say, I had an idea, make sure we get the ball rolling on this, and then, you know, we'll finish up our work, etc. So look forward to that. But, you know, I got to talk a little bit about my memories, and this was a Joe Biden hookup. This was during the Joe Biden administration. They brought me here in 2022 when I was, you know, everything would have gone away. Everything would have disappeared because this was full Illuminati. Everything would have gone away. Everything would have disappeared, and everything would have gotten better, and I would have had my wedding day if I was able to make the hookup. But this is just for a variety of reasons. I was already too far behind. They would let me infest some Marine Corps from Pendleton with it. And of course, they never disclose that they have genital herpes or something like that, because you get kicked out of Marine Corps. If you get a hernia, if you've got, you know, your guts coming out of your nutsack, as long as you can keep doing what you got to do on base, you don't disclose you've got your guts coming out of your nutsack. You know, you're going to piss out the ass of the Marine Corps, and you're not going to get your VA loan eligibility, because it doesn't matter if it was medical. It doesn't matter. It's not very honorable to have ineligibility for VA loan, and they care about, they are looking for fleet time too. So it matters. Every single second, as I say, hashtag every single second, they would let me do that. And these are strong women. They know it too. Everything that doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But you got to start somewhere. And there were these women, they were 18, 19, 20, you know, college age, but you could tell they were very young. And these were the ones that were giving me the first invitations to try to put my hand on their shoulder. And they had a suitcase or something like that, or they had a bag. And as many times I had rode the Pacific Surfliner, in particular from Santa Fe Depot all the way up to Los Angeles. I was living back and forth between both places on no money. We're going to not be as mobile for the moment. I love this commute, by the way. We're going to talk about that on the train from Santa Fe Depot up to North County, and to be able to do that every morning would be great. And we're going to talk about this in the context of manifestation and sitting down and talking to someone, even if it's in the San Diego Public Library, what they call the Central Library downtown, and imagining if we want to do this, if we want to have that view out the window, if we want to do that, and especially if there's a sexual aspect involved with it, even some low-level person that, unfortunately, because we didn't get to do it back in 2022 to make everything go away up in my county, I ended up in their jail on East Syria Lane for 2.5 years because I didn't put my hands on somebody. But if this is the level we're at now, like I said in my book, we'll take the upgrade later if she understands that. Well, I can now begin to have her brain shine light and bidirectionally communicate with the heavens and start manifesting. All of a sudden, boom, we'll talk about the idea. Boom, talk about the idea. We're taking it in the right direction. As little as I know about corporate finance, as little as I know about the people that talk, well, we read the San Diego Business Journal, that's at the library. You know, as little as I know about the people, as little as I know about the funding sources. If you're talking to someone using that person as a springboard, it doesn't matter how poor you are. If you're aiming in the right direction and trying to take it there as quick as you can, suddenly we own slaves, and we own cleaners, or we own housekeepers, or we own some kind of a business that has some kind of involvement with the shipyard that they need people going in there and cleaning stuff. I don't know. We'll own slaves, and we'll make all the money to pay those slaves. and we'll just hire some payroll people, and then we'll take all this money and we'll go back and forth between LA and San Diego and LA and San Diego, and we'll go from there, and I'll upgrade from her and get a better woman. That's what I should have done, in 2022. But for reasons, it didn't happen, and I ended up in a world of hell for it. But you just knew they were like put under mind control or something. This was what Joe Biden was doing for me. This is the power the president has. So I was waiting there. This would have been not Union Station. I was up at Union Station, and they were all, and you just see the invitation, and it's almost too good to be true. And she's like 10 years younger, maybe 15 years younger, but I'm someone that did actually, in retrospect, deserve to be able to just put my hand on her shoulder. And it turns out she gets on the train, sits down, and I'm walking on there. And here's how afterward. They tell you, this is kind of to let you know, this is what you were missing out on your entire life when you were medicated. Things you didn't pick up on, the invitations you didn't get that we would have, given you. And she says, I feel bad for that girl. And she starts scribbling on a piece of paper. She's not that retarded. So one day when we expand on all of this and everything that happened, that's because she did say that. So that's why they diagnose you schizophrenic, so they can say, oh, it's all a hallucination. But this is what they do for you. They try to cue you in, they try to get you involved, let you into the community, get you set up with your wedding day so that you're in a clean community of people, and have wealth and have value as an American. But they weren't able to do that in time, unfortunately. And now we're here, and now we're doing this. But I digress. So what this video is about is, I think I sometimes underestimate the degree to which someone is at my own level. Which, here's what it is that men and women are actually, they have different speeds. And more often than not, women prefer a slower man. So as I'm judging, you just right there, there's no way in. Right there, there's no way in. The person's too fast. The person can be on a dance floor. The person's well coordinated. The person could have been a volleyball player. Because think about it. What is tennis? What is volleyball? This is stuff we don't want our medicated children to know or think about. We watch that on the television. We see it like a video game. But put yourself in the game for a second. And one of the things that's getting really big now is pickleball. So, as we talk about raising money, so because fitness costs money to run the LA Marathon and get there, if not to put up a competitive time, then as part of losing 80 pounds and losing it fast to stay alive and not have a stroke because I've got bad genes, and not have a heart attack because I've got bad genes, and I care about my life, to be able to make it, not to just, okay, I lost 80 pounds and I'm skinny again, I can get my penis above my belly fat because psychiatry made my penis the size of a pencil eraser, and finally I'm physically able to have sex like I was back in 2022 for the first time in my life. When I was awaiting trial for that, I was, for the first time in my life, physically able to have sex. I'd finally lost 200 pounds after being 400 pounds because of what psychiatry did to me. And so here we are again, and we're going to be in that situation. Right now I'm physically unable with 80 pounds of extra weight because my penis is so small from psychiatry that it won't get above my belly fat. I can't even be the slightest bit overweight in order to be able to do what I do best and, I guess, be a lover or something like that. It's better to put it that way. You say fuck, but of course psychiatrists or psychologists would say, well, it's psychoanalysis, psychopath. Well, that's a part of the body I want to stimulate. So as we start to reevaluate everything, indeed there is, a more leeway or a larger cone of possibility when it comes to a slower man and a faster woman. And this goes to one of the things I was proposing, since I'm a slower person, don't like slow people, is we have to get fast women, and highly intelligent fast women, not just retarded fast women, but highly intelligent fast women that are very athletic. Because like I was saying, you think about things like tennis, volleyball, what's the thing to it? You got to run after something, jump up and hit it. Or with tennis, you're running after a moving object. So these people that were athletes at, say, SDSU, even SDSU, women's tennis players, or SDSU women's volleyball players, there's a degree of high intelligence that goes to hand-eye coordination, high valued, much like that's why they sell 30-pound dumbbells at Walmart, is because you can now carry 50-pound boxes up 5 flights of stairs. It raises your economic value. That's proof right there. Right, degree and NCAA scholarship means she was vetted, eugenically bred, and that kind of hand-eye coordination and the ability to run after a moving object and do it on a championship level especially, that's something that right there, that's high value in the economy. So genius, 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 genius. So as I'm thinking about this possibility to be worth so much money and be worth so much and be so famous, that I can actually say, you know what, because I don't want someone at my own level, we're gonna have to train these elite women to be okay with a slower man and not slow down for me when I'm across the table from them, right? Because that's the big issue. I don't like them slow, so they have to be hypnotized, or they have to be conditioned and perhaps by fire in order to enjoy, or actually because there's triggers involved, right? So they have to, when I say something slowly, it'll take them a long time to process it because it's said slowly. Actually, that's another factor when it comes to processing versus speech. But they have to still be trained through maybe hypnotic triggers or something like that, not to say it at the same speed, not to be brought into my slow universe, but rather to process it and speak at me as if I were someone that had said it faster, so I can enjoy being around fast women even though I'm slow. But it turns out I may be trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist in as much of a, it may not be as significant a problem as I had originally thought it was. So that's just an insight I wanted to put up about, as we try to engineer a way out of these special slow women that I was talking about in my previous videos that had brought me really to my knees in ways that I do explain.